All right. Good afternoon, guys. So, obviously, today, again, it's been a little bit more of a frustrating morning. I would say morning. The morning session was a little bit frustrating. Price action did end up opening up a little bit later in the day. Some of the moves made more sense than others, but let's go ahead and get into some of these last couple of trades that we just took. So, if we are looking at just overall tech here, you can see price moved up, saw uptrend to start the day, pushed in the highs, 656, failed around here, got the pullback back in the middle band, and then we have a massive pullback, or massive, really not even a pullback, sell off. Now, looks like news came out. News did not come out. If you guys remember yesterday, we were talking about how basically all day tech did appear like we did want to make a leg lower, and semiconductors, chip stocks, just for whatever reason, there hasn't even really been any news coming out. It really just is more looking like capital rotation coming back into more of a risk on state. We saw tons of money pouring into the semiconductor stocks yesterday, right? Held us up all day. Similar thing today. So if we take a look at semis here, you can see that on, let's see if we can, actually, I don't need to do it like that. All right, so you can see we pushed into new highs. This is all-time highs with AMD, Micron, and Broadcom. So the time of the actual pivot is 12:45. That's when everything actually turned around 12:45, 12:30. Broadcom actually topped around 11:30. So if we go back and look at QQQ, we did have a pullback on SPY and Q at 11:30, pullback on NVIDIA at 11:30. So everything pulled back here, and pretty substantial pullback, right? Pretty substantial pullback on tech, while only getting a slight pullback here on AMD, a little bit of a top on Broadcom. I don't even know. We actually broke out at that same time on Micron. But obviously, you know, we said a lot of stuff regarding chip stocks recently. If you guys have been on the live call, you know what I'm talking about. But it just looks like that really chips have been holding us up, and clearly that was the case, right? So as I said earlier, when I was looking for a few positions, I was able to catch some winning positions back on the downside watching these chip stocks. And really, I guess earlier, the original time that I thought we would get the move was closer to this, right? We tested the 9 here, slipped the 9 a little bit there, and said that we were looking for those puts down towards 652 for us to get that downside move, right? Now, obviously, it took a little bit of time, but we did end up getting a top formed, and we've started flipping very, very fast. Now, if we're looking at SPY and Q, we had made the move pretty much back down to middle or bottom band on SPY, flushed into 653 on Q. Look at how low. We're still going so much lower. Into 52 or 53 on Q, and that was just from the pullback back into the 9. So that was before we even slipped it. So obviously big dump happened beforehand, but if you wanted to wait and be safe, you could have waited for us to actually take the 9 out. Once that happened, we went much lower, and you can obviously see we're still going lower. So pretty simple trade. Obviously, I was still using, time and sales on QQQ, SPY, etc. But really, the main thing behind this trade has just been the fact that semiconductors were holding us up big time, and all we really needed to see was that begin to slow down, lose some momentum, and we would see tech begin to slip. And now, honestly, we could have some panic selling picking up, because yesterday there were sellers piling in all day. I felt we should have had the downside move, and we never did. Now they could be getting their opportunity, right? If we look at this, we actually are already below the lows from yesterday. So we could dump all the way into 646 here while trying to get that move back that honestly we wanted yesterday. So remember, guys, you got to be patient sometimes. Honestly, this move is very crazy to see, but then again, watching it back, it's not like we didn't feel like this could happen today. I think we might have even talked about having a downside move this morning pre-market.